In the quiet moments before the house awakens, a mother stands beside her child's bed. She watches the gentle rise and fall of his chest, the way his tiny fingers curl into the blanket, the innocence that rests upon his face. And she whispers, not for him, but for her own heart to remember. Ya Allah, let me raise him to know you, to love you, before the world tries to teach him otherwise. These early years, are not ordinary. They are sacred. The Prophet said, play with your children for the first 7 years. Not just to entertain them, but because play is the language through which a child learns the world, and the one who created it. A mother's heart often wonders, what should I teach my child about faith before they turn 7? Should I start with Salah? Should I teach them surahs? Should I make them memorize du'as? But the truth, dear mama, lies deeper than memorization. It lies in connection. Before age 7, what a child needs most is not information about Allah, but a relationship with Him. Faith is not built in the mind first, it's nurtured in the heart. Faith begins in the rhythm of daily life. When a mother smiles and says Alhamdulillah after spilling the milk instead of frowning, she teaches that Allah is good even when things go wrong. When a father says Bismillah before starting the car, and Subhanallah at the beauty of the sky, he plants words of remembrance in the soil of his child's heart. When a child asks, why can't we see Allah, and the mother bends down, smiles, and says, because He is closer to you than you can imagine, that child's world shifts forever. Faith before 7 is not taught, it's felt. It's experienced through love, presence, and small consistent acts. A child who feels secure in your arms will grow to feel secure in Allah's mercy. A child who sees you pray with peace will associate salah with safety. A child who hears stories about Allah's kindness will grow to believe that Allah's love never ends. One day, the mother from our story sat in the kitchen after far. She looked at her son, who was humming quietly while building with his blocks. And she thought of all the times she had rushed through teaching, the times she felt guilty that he didn't know enough. But that morning, something changed. She remembered a saying of Ibn al-Qayyim. The hearts of children are like empty vessels, whatever you fill them with, that is what they will carry. So she chose to fill his heart not just with words of Islam, but with the feeling of Islam. Faith begins when a child hears Allah's name in beauty. When you say Alhamdulillah for the rain that cools the day. When you say Subhanallah for the butterfly landing on their tiny hand. When you whisper Astaghfirullah after losing your temper, and let them see that even big people turn back to Allah. These small, gentle drops of remembrance, they collect over time. Until one day, they overflow into a river of Iman. The mother began a new rhythm in her home. Every night, she would tell her son a story, not just any story, but the kind that made him feel Allah. She told him about Prophet Yunus. How he was swallowed by the whale, but never stopped remembering Allah, even in the darkness. She told him about Prophet Musa. How Allah split the sea for him, proving that nothing is impossible when you trust Allah. And every time she told a story, she would pause and whisper, do you see? Allah always helps His servants who remember Him. Slowly, she noticed something remarkable. Her son began to say Bismillah before opening his toy box. Alhamdulillah when he finished his meal. And Subhanallah when he saw the stars at night. Before age 7, a child's heart is like soft clay, it remembers how it was shaped, more than what it was taught. If you fill these years with harsh correction, they'll associate faith with fear. If you fill them with gentleness, warmth, and love, they'll associate faith with mercy. Remember, our Prophet was the gentlest of teachers. He did not rush the hearts of people to maturity, he nurtured them. He smiled, he paused, he made people feel seen and loved before he taught them anything. In one moment, the mother grew frustrated. Her son had forgotten to pick up his toys again. Her patience felt thin. But then she remembered, she's not just teaching cleanliness, she's teaching adab. So instead of shouting, she said, let's tidy together, so Allah will be happy with us. And as they cleaned side by side, she realized, this was also ibadah, worship in disguise. That night, she wrote in her journal. Teaching faith before age 7 isn't about control. It's about connection. It's not about giving them a rulebook. It's about giving them reasons to love Allah. She began to see lessons everywhere. When her child shared his toy, she said, "MashaAllah, Allah loves those who are kind." Cherry Blossom, when he made a mistake, she said, "It's okay. Allah forgives us when we say sorry." Son, when he was afraid of the dark, she said, "Say Bismillah, and remember Allah is with you." Each of these moments became invisible threads, weaving Iman into the fabric of his little heart. Faith before 7 is not heavy, it's light. It's like the first fragrance of rain. It seeps gently into the heart and stays there forever. A mother's smile, a father's prayer, a bedtime du'a, these become the child's first encounters with Allah. And when the time comes to learn Salah, Qur'an, and fasting, it will not feel like a burden. It will feel like coming home. The mother looks back years later. Her son is older now, learning Qur'an, helping with chores, reminding her to say Bismillah. And she smiles because she realizes the seeds she planted in love have blossomed into faith that stands on its own. She whispers, "Alhamdulillah, Ya Allah, you guided me to raise him with your love first." And so, dear parent, before your child turns 7, teach them not just about Allah, but to feel Allah. Not just to recite, but to reflect. Not just to obey, but to love. Because one day, when life becomes hard, when you are no longer beside them to guide their every step, they will remember the warmth of those early years. And they will whisper, "Allah is with me." That is faith. That is the legacy you build. May Allah bless every parent striving to nurture faith with love. May He make our homes gardens of remembrance, and our children carriers of light. Ameen. Tulip. Ya Allah, plant faith in their hearts through our mercy, and let them grow in your love.